So I started traveling in Africa in 2008, and one of my passions that I quickly became a passion of is to find the last super tuskers in Africa. And after through the 90s into the 2000s, the elephants were being poached. Ivory, poaching was just rampant through Africa, and it became such a passion and such almost a desperation to find these last guys that I pretty much traveled the whole continent of Africa trying to find the last remaining ones. And through that process of looking for them, I found this nice little population that's still intact in Kenya, and right on the border of Kenya, and then also the Tsavo region of Kenya, where there's actually some big tuskers left. And so it became my passion to go over there and start photographing these ones with and with the Tsavo Trust and some other areas to try to bring awareness to that how very small percentage there is left in the whole elephant population. So I can't remember if it was him that contacted me or I contacted him, but we automatically were like, let's do this. And it was kind of like the upside of how amazing this would be to be able to show people, because elephants are 11 feet tall, and they have the records of 12 feet or 14 feet tall. So to be able to have something life size not only brings the grand size of them, but just the size of the tusk. You can see, because normally you can't get this close to an elephant. So then you can stand up and actually get an awareness of how big their ivory really is. And his talent was just like, it was like almost like it was meant to happen. So, traveling around Africa, you have a respect for African elephants. They say that the lion is the king of the jungle. Really, the elephants is, because the elephants, if you talk to any of the tribes, any of the culture in Africa, they're the only animal they're really afraid of is the elephant, just because of the size. Lions are the king of the jungle through their wit and their, but it's really the elephant, and then the size is intimidating. So what makes Craig amazing is just how close you can get to him and how patient he is with photographers and tourists. I've been around him for 5 years now, and I've never seen him act aggressively towards anybody. And he's just, I think what makes him special is you can get up close to these super tuskers. And a lot of places, if you find the super tuskers, they're a little skittish because they're being poached, and they survive because they're smart, and they've probably stayed away from the hotbeds of poaching. But they've at least every super tusker has had an attempt on their life at some point. And so a lot of times when they see humans, they're not very friendly. And so you keep your distance, and but with Craig you can get right up to him. He will actually walk up to you, and it's just it's like a once in a generation tusker that I think everybody should appreciate and experience, because we might never see something like this ever again. What's important about saving the big tuskers is they'll travel up to 60 kilometers in a day. They're always on the move, and as these older tuskers, they've learned where the best watering holes are, the best grazing, and a lot of that's outside the park because they don't have to compete with the animals inside the park. They don't have to compete with the zebras and the gazelles and the wildebeest that are eating the grass all the way down to the nub. So in a drought situation, the elephants will travel huge distances, and which I think is why it's important to raise money to try to help save this land, is because you're pretty much, it's an investment for the future of these elephants. Because once the villages and the towns grow up around the national park, no longer will these big elephants have any area to survive. And that's probably the most important part about it, is just giving them a future. The animals need a future. The single most important thing for fundraising is being able to protect land for their future. Because around the Amboseli, they have no future if they can't protect the greater area around. And by raising money, not only we're going to be raising money for the foundations for the rangers that help protect 24-hour surveillance. They're the ones that if they're wounded, or even if a community like one of these elephants is in their crops, they'll actually call the rangers and they'll help push them out. And so all this thing costs money, but the number one thing is protecting the land. So Big Life Foundation, a few other places, they actually will buy land, lease it from the locals for a 99-year period or whatever, and that allows them to have an uninterrupted corridor for them to migrate. And so the biggest thing right now is not only bringing awareness to the last super tuskers, but also raising money so they have a future. So I'm on Facebook, or just with my name, Brian Montalbo, or Instagram. I have it under Beyond Adventures, Beyond.Adventures.Travels. So Beyond Adventure Travels is my company name. And then you can also go to www.brianmontalbo.com is my photography website. And and you can go in there and you can look at different safaris. I've been guiding safaris since 2012, and I go September. Usually I go dry season, wet season, so you can kind of have a opposite experience.